Hey everybody, Kira Dynamite here. Hello to each and every one of you out there watching. It's been a long week. It's been a long year. Happy New Year. So this is the first video of 2021 and I just wanted to talk about Treasure Planet. I put it on for my nephews last night and we watched it and they were absolutely captivated, and I just remember watching that when I was a kid. Backstory: I did not see this movie in the theaters. I don't even remember really seeing much, like a bunch of ads for it or commercials. I just remember my sisters coming home from Blockbuster and I was like, this isn't Sailor Moon. And they were like, Sailor Moon, there weren't any more copies left. People rented it. But here's this other movie called Treasure Planet. And I was like, what is that? What is this? And I remember being so skeptical of it, and by the end of the movie, I was in love with it. It was just awesome. So I wanted to talk about it because I don't really see people ever talk about this movie, ever. It's in the same group with Atlantis, which is another great Disney movie that I love that people don't really talk about. So I'm going to talk about it today, and I'm going to try not to be too heavy on the spoilers, but a little light on the spoilers. So if you haven't seen this movie, pause this video, go watch it, or go watch it and come back and we can have a little discussion going. So the first thing about this movie, obviously the characters, right? You have to have interesting characters. We have Jim Hawkins, who's the rebellious teenager who is going through a lot. We have his mom, who's a single mom. She's going through a lot. She's keeping an inn/restaurant running, but it's barely, keeping them to where they can make a living. And then we have Dr. Doppler, who is he looks like kind of like a dog alien species kind of thing. He's very smart, socially awkward, and very good friends with Sarah. Then we have Captain Amelia, who is the captain of the boat. When I was a kid, I was like, she is so cool. Like, she's captain of this ship. She's calling the shots. She's slinging guns. She's reading people's behavior because she's good at reading people's behavior. She's smart. Like, Captain Amelia was so cool when I was a kid. And watching it back, I'm like, she's just as cool. Then we have Long John Silver, who is a cyborg, and he is searching for this treasure with a bunch of other pirates. And that's pretty much the rundown of the characters. One of the characters that comes in about halfway is a robot, and his name is Ben. And this robot is played by Martin Short. If you don't know who Martin Short is, he's a very, very funny actor. And it was just the perfect timing to bring in a character like that, because now the story is getting very, very heavy and it's after a betrayal happens. So it's like, okay, we need something to make it a little bit lighter for the kids that are watching, and his voice acting work is just so good. The character is ridiculous. I was watching it last night actually laughing out loud and smiling. But yeah, it's the character is really, really fun, and I think they did a really good job with choosing Martin Short to do this comedic, with this comedic timing and voice and everything. Now the narrator is Tony J. Just fun fact, Tony J is Frollo. He played Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. His voice is very distinct, so anything you hear him in is like, that's Judge Frollo, that's Tony J. So then we have the plot, and the plot of the movie is, in the beginning of the movie, we see Jim reading a book when he's about like 4 years old, right? And it's the story narrated by Tony J of this treasure, this untold treasure that is, beyond belief. Oh yeah, Jim is, he's doing his rebellious teen thing. He's out rocket surfing and he's brought in by the police. And his mom is like, what? I'm at my wit's end. Like, what do I do? And so Jim goes on the roof to be by himself, and he overhears his mom talking about this. Then he sees this guy crash into the ground from a ship, and he's like, what is going on? He jumps off the roof and he's like, hey, what's happening? And the guy is like, it's like this frog creature, amphibian thing, turtle thing. And he's like, I'm Billy Bones. and Long John, or he's like, the cyborg can't get his hands on my map. And he's like, whoa, 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 what are you talking about? He takes him into the inn. But the thing is, the pirates are after Billy Bones. Billy Bones dies in the inn. And he is like, what's going on? But before he died, he opened the treasure chest, and is the spherical map. And the pirates come rushing into the inn, and like they escape with their lives just barely. Dr. Doppler, Sarah, his mother, and Jim, and this map. And they escape. And so Dr. Doppler is very rich, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to pay for this expedition because they find out that this map leads to the treasure. And so, of course, that is where the story begins. And one of my favorite things about this movie are the themes. So I definitely forgot to talk about one of my favorite Disney songs from Treasure Planet called I'm Still Here by Johnny Resnick from the Goo Goo Dolls. And it just shows in a music video, instead of telling us about how Jim's dad left and the contrast of him looking up to a different father figure. And it was just beautiful. The theme of abandonment, because Jim's father abandoned him. And so he's working through all of this anger, this sadness. And then we have Long John Silver, the cyborg, who is posing as a crewmate, but he knows he knows what's actually going on. He knows what the he's like, there's gonna be a mutiny on this ship, but right now I'm just gonna act like I don't know anything and that I'm just a crew member. But Long John Silver, and I'm just gonna call him Silver, but Silver and Jim, they start to bond and form a very, very good father-son bond. And everything that Jim has been missing throughout his childhood, someone to teach him, someone to guide him, someone to be there for him emotionally, he finds in Silver through this expedition. And you just know that, like, okay, something's gonna go wrong because he's gonna find out. And like, what's that gonna be like? Is Silver going to be able to toe the line of, I care about this kid, but also I've been looking for this treasure my whole life? And so that's just a very interesting theme. Like, are you going to go against what you've been working for your whole life because now you care about someone? Or are you going to say, I just met this kid, he doesn't really need me, I'm gonna go what I'm gonna do, what I want to do? That sentence was weird, but anyway, the theme of finding yourself. And you know, Jim is just, he feels very, very lost. And you know, Silver is always telling him, you're gonna be something one day, you just watch. So another thing that I really love about this movie is the animation. I think it was ahead of its time. They had 2D and 3D together, but like the colors, the aesthetics, the planets, the creatures, it was like watching Star Wars but pirates. Like, it was just very, very cool. And when I was a kid, I was like, why haven't I seen, like, I wish to this day that I could watch this movie in the theaters, because it's just so nice to look at. The color schemes are beautiful. They have like a lot of gold, they have jewel tones. It just feels like the animation is just very, very rich, and like they took their time with this movie. And it's just a shame that for some reason they didn't do a good job with promoting it. And it sucks, because this movie is, I'd watch this movie over Frozen any day. I'd watch this movie over Princess and the Frog. I'd watch this movie over, what else is there? I'd watch this movie over Toy Story 4. Like, this movie is just really, really good, and I enjoy it. I'd probably watch it over Cinderella as well. Like, I definitely watch it over Snow. You know what? We're going to do a ranking of Disney movies. How about that? And then we'll have that discussion. But this movie is just so pleasing to the eye, and the animators did a beautiful job with it, and there is no complaining here. The way that they came up with how the different species looks and the aliens, and I'm telling you, this movie is pure gold, pun intended. So the writing for this and the comedic jokes written for this is really, really good. starting in the callbacks, they had a lot of callbacks. So, you know, starting in the beginning of the movie, rocket surfing is what got Jim in trouble, and towards the end of the movie, it's a part of the scheme that gets them out of the trouble that they're in. So I thought that was really cool. And then you have another callback with the map at the beginning, the storybook, and then Jim finding the actual map and him knowing what's really going on. So yeah. And then they have this really funny joke. So they have this funny one of the examples of the writing is that he's like, "Aren't you a doctor?" talking to Dr. Doppler, and he's like, I'm an astrophysicist, or I think it was said astrophysicist. He's like, "I'm an astrophysicist. I can't really help anyone. I'm a doctor, but not that type of doctor to help anyone." And I thought that was funny because that's kind of like, you know, a running joke when you're like a doctor, but not that kind of doctor to where you can like close a wound. But yeah, this movie is great. It's one of my favorites, and I just don't understand why it's not popular. Like, I just don't get it. But tell me what you guys think in the movie. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Have you seen this movie? And if you would like me to do a spoiler review of the movie, and what movies should I include in a tier making list to rank Disney movies? And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say today. I didn't want to make a super long video. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like, just go ahead, you know, you might as well just hit that like button right now. You might as well leave a comment and subscribe. Also, I wanted to thank my top commenter. I'll put a picture right here. I don't know how to say the name, but I really just wanted to thank you so much. You're always watching my videos and you're always commenting, and I really appreciate it. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who subscribes and who watches and comments and likes and gives me that support. I really, really appreciate it. And we're almost at 500, so that's very exciting. And comment down below your suggestions of what you would like me to talk about. Anything, just tell me. It doesn't have to be movies, it doesn't have to be shows. Just tell me anything. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. My mouth is very dry and I'm very thirsty. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.